Hey everyone, hope they're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these topics and subjects, looking for potential investment opportunities. We are running a discount right now. Special is the discount coupon code for further savings on both the monthly membership and the yearly membership. It's in the description link below. All right, let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on today. We've got the dollar DXY. We've broken this falling wedge to the downside, and then we've got a nice little move higher. We have another selling pressure wick at the top there, which shoved us lower, and we don't really have a big bounce today. So this can still go in either direction, but the way that I view this is that we are heading lower here, and that is still intact until something changes that movement. And I don't have any signs on the candlesticks yet or anything with a reversal, so the momentum is still down for the DXY. We're seeing the 2-year yield hold sideways today, up 0.55%. This still looks a little bit like this could continue lower, depending on what kind of follow through we see. So if we see a little bit of green candlesticks like this, that generally wants to roll over. So we'll have to see what type of candlesticks we get over the next few trading sessions. The 10-year is the same way. We've got a good impulse move lower in a pretty weak bounce, which makes me think we could easily roll over time. The 30-year, same thing. Big selling pressure. Maybe we get a couple of little candlesticks coming up, and then we roll back over. Think of it as a flag pattern or something on the lines of that. TYX, TNX ratio pulling on down a little bit. What this means is that the curve is inverting. Not really any tailwind for precious metals when this goes down. Generally, it doesn't hurt crude oil, but crude oil went down today too. But bigger picture view, when this inverts, oil did very well from July of 2020 all the way till 2022. We slowed down and went sideways here. That's when gold bottomed, which was September, October of 2022. And when this goes up, or if this goes up, precious metals get the tailwind. Bond prices moving sideways. Not much action today in terms of movement. I know but Trump wants interest rates to fall, which means bond prices need to come back up. I don't know how he's going to pull this off unless he does quantitative easing. But right now, it's holding steady. You've got good support there, and we could easily do a retest before heading higher. The 2 and the 10 is inverting today, so it's coming on up. That's with the short end of the yield curve going up more than the longer end. So that's inverting again. Here we are coming back up. Are they manipulating the yield curve? Probably. They're probably playing with all these yields and what this is showing to everyone. But that's coming back up. Again, a recession, this drops like a rock, like these here. Those are problems. And we're kind of sitting there, and we'll see if that drops like a rock and we've got a problem or not. Gold down a little bit, down about $12 an ounce, but the momentum is still to the upside, still looks good. Silver down 0.88, and that doesn't look bad. It still looks good to go higher. We are above the pattern here, and everything looks good. Platinum down a little bit. This could roll over. We have a big selling pressure candlestick here and smaller buying pressure, so sometimes it can end up going lower based off of this type of kind of flaggish type pattern. And then palladium's down 2%, and that's been chopping lower here. We did break out of this falling wedge to the upside. So GDX is up slightly, GDXJ is down slightly, and SILJ is down slightly. They all look good to continue higher. They're not reversal candlestick patterns on any of them. I call them bloody noses. The momentum is still to the upside, and if gold and silver can keep moving, I think the miners have a good chance of moving higher. XAU to gold ratio, there was an outperformance of gold and silver versus gold, slightly. That looks good to work its way on up, where gold and silver mining companies can start to outperform gold itself, coming from a ridiculously low level, where the gold and silver mining companies are completely mispriced compared to gold, given history. Crude oil down 0.6%. We are back within this mass of buying and sellers, buyers and sellers. It acts as support as you go into these areas. So we're going to get some good support on oil here. TTF gas up 1.36. It is jammed between resistance and resistance. So if I were to come in there, we've got resistance going across here and resistance support, which is right, we're above that. So it's jammed between resistance and support. Your support is this guy, and your resistance is right above you. Natural gas in America up a little bit. We had a pretty big fall through here, so we'll see if we chop sideways for a while. We are coming into a weaker portion of natural gas demand season, which is the springtime. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, down 2.22%. We've got support underneath us in both directions, this direction and this direction. And we are underneath resistance, which is the neckline. So we're underneath the resistance neckline there, but we're above the support that's holding us up. We're smashed between those two areas, and we'll see which direction we've got going on here over the next few trading sessions. OIH also selling off 2.9%, seeing a little bit more selling pressure today. We've got a nice big bullish engulfing here, met by a bearish engulfing here, which the sellers are still there. So not great to see that. You want to see small down candlesticks like these guys there, not these big boys that just showed up today. So we'll see if there's any follow through with selling pressure, or if the buyers can pick it back up and reverse this move on up after today. Newcastle coal futures down. It looks like it's trying to put in a bottom here. As we get these little wicks at the bottom there, we'll see if we can get some buying pressure. And that's above support, this long-term support line. We're right above it. Ruffles Uranium Trust down 1.87, still inside the pattern, still consolidating. Uranium futures pricing still consolidating in its pattern. These all look good to go higher. They're all downward facing. So it makes me think that they're going to break to the upside at some point, whenever that point is. URA getting some selling pressure down 2.22%. Getting in pretty big chop going on here. URNM also down 2%. We do have a little wick at the bottom, a little bit of buying pressure there. It's not all sellers. And URNJ also doing the same thing. It looks like we've got a little bit of support going through there. Copper up 0.4%. We've broken out of this pattern. And again, this looks pretty good. We're getting a little bit of resistance right where we're at, but maybe we can punch through here and continue higher in copper. It looks good to go up. COPX also getting some funds flow into it, up 2%. Trying to get through some resistance. I think I drew that one in. It's probably just going to, move it. So we got a little bit of resistance through that area there. Iron ore down slightly, but it looks good to go higher. We've broken through this downtrend line, and I expect iron ore to rip, steel and iron ore. There's some opportunities in steel and iron ore right now if you're looking. Aluminum up 0.36%. We're still underneath that strong resistance line that we haven't been able to break and crack through, but I do think it will eventually break and go through. Nickel up about 1%. It's trying to put in a little double bottom here. I'll have to, looks like the booty's a little bit bigger than what I drew in there, so maybe we've got kind of a bigger booty than what I thought. This ain't no white bottom. This is a little bit larger booty on this one. Mu Down 1.24%, pulling on back with a little bit of selling pressure today. We saw a lot of selling pressure across the board in a lot of stuff today. But again, we're in the bigger pattern. This guy down here, this big pattern there. So we haven't had the launch yet to the upside, which we generally see. This is a breakout, retest, and then a move higher. We're still doing that retest over here. Emerging markets are up 0.44%. We had a stronger dollar, stronger yield, but it still went up. And this looks good. It looks like a shoulder head shoulder deal going on. Carry up 1.16, looking pretty good for the banking ETF, moving higher. TAN up 2%. It's trying to move on up after getting clobbered starting in 2021. Lithium up 1.9. It's still trying to break through this downtrend line. I think we'll break through it here. Bullish engulfing, bullish engulfing. That looks good on the weekly if we can close the week out strong. REMX up a little bit, and that looks good to go higher. We've broken the downtrend line here, and the momentum is definitely slowed and is turning. So that looks good to rip higher. This is a good entry point for REMX. Baltic Dry Index looks like it's trying to bottom, 2.4% up. Again, we're at a really low level down here, guys. This is a good entry point, I think, for Baltic Dry Index companies. XHB, this still looks weak. What we did, this is the monthly candlestick. We came up into a rising wedge, broke out with big selling pressure, and we have kind of like a flag pattern, an inverted flag pattern. These generally end up moving lower, and that's in home builders. So we very well could move lower in home builders depending on where interest rates go. Russell 2000 looking good, like it wants to try to break out of this flag pattern. We got the S&P 500 up a little bit, 0.36. Plunge protection team doing its job. NASDAQ barely moving on up, but it's holding on, up 0.5%. We've got the super microcomputers breaking to the upside on a 7.5% up day. Maybe we can see this work its way on up a little bit. NVIDIA up 3%. It's trying. They need to get this thing up back above this resistance line, and maybe it does it, maybe it doesn't. We'll see. This is coming from nosebleed levels. Bitcoin down slightly, and it does. I mean, the buyers and sellers are duking it out. Let's see what kind of candlesticks we get coming on. There is some buying pressure with this candlestick there, and there's selling pressure right after it. So they're hitting each other in the face, socking each other back and forth. Could this head lower? If we see follow through, it very well could. Ethereum is selling off. It looks a lot weaker. Kind of more selling pressure here. We had a big bounce with this large candlestick wick there, but we're still leaking off with some selling pressure. Then MicroStrategy, I think somebody said change his name, but still looks okay. It's holding on. Bullish engulfing here with small candlesticks, so it's still holding on at the moment. And then the VIX is down as the S&P was up today. So the volatility is kind of contracting here. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Special is that coupon code if you'd like to join. We've got a question and answer session coming up this weekend. It is at 5 p.m. Mountain Time on Sunday. So I'll see you there. Ask me whatever questions you like. Use that coupon code for a special if you'd like to join. And we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.